All right, guys, another video. I have not so good news, and you're gonna have to stick around to the middle of the video to kind of understand why I think this is bad news. But let's start off with good news. The good news is I'm not doing a late night video, so hopefully more of you watch it. And also the good news is Market Netflow actually did pretty good today, when yesterday it didn't do too hot. So that is some good news, but the bad news is Google and Microsoft just reported earnings and it was pretty brutal. And I'll get into more of that throughout this video. Again, I'll try to keep it pretty short, and then some predictions I have going into tomorrow, and then kind of a recap of today. All right, guys, let's get right into it. All right, so like I said before, the good news was Market Netflow pretty much did an amazing job today. The bulls were in full control since pretty much the very beginning of the day. About 15 minutes in, bulls started to take over. We hovered around 10 to 15 million dollars in calls all day, and then puts stayed below, and that caused a very strong trend in the market, which was very good if you were in calls for today. But again, you have to remember what's going on in the market. It's still pretty bad. Inflation's still running rampant. We have earnings, big tech earnings. It started off pretty good last week with Netflix, and I think that's why we had this little run up. If you guys recall, just last week on Friday, I think we were in the low 360s, like 361, 362 on Friday, and now today is only Tuesday, and we were in the mid 380s, which is pretty crazy. It's quite the move. And I think this little run up we've had is in effect to the good earnings report that Netflix had last week, and kind of like a earnings run up for all these big tech companies. But then Microsoft and Google reported earnings, and it absolutely went to shit. Let's just say that. It went in the garbage truck. So, I mean, Microsoft did pretty good on their earnings, but their year-over-year growth was pretty bad, which just immediately tanked the entire market. Google's down like 7%, Microsoft's down 7% or something like that right now as I'm speaking. But Google was absolutely horrid. They missed on revenue and earnings per share and everything. The guidance wasn't too hot either. But why Microsoft is down, it started off pretty... it tanked and then it recovered a little bit, but then that year-over-year growth pushed it down along with Google and the entire market. So that's the bad news, guys. I think that this little run-up we've had has come to a close. So we're going to have to probably see a little bit more bleeding. We'll have to see what happens, right? We never know really what the market's going to do. But with those big tech earnings, it definitely doesn't start a good picture in the market, in my mind. Of a continuation of this trend that we've been having. It's definitely a momentum killer, to say the least. But we'll have to see. I mean, we have Facebook earnings tomorrow, as well as Apple and Amazon on Thursday. So those are something to look forward to. Nonetheless, just be careful, okay, guys? So tomorrow, let's talk about the levels. We may see a pullback because of what's going on with Microsoft and Google earnings. But in the last video, if you guys haven't seen my last video, I predicted a 377 bounce, which we got that perfectly pre-market. We literally hit this 377 mark. This is this red bar here. Hit 377 and then just mooned right past it, and bullish flow caught this entire move for us, which is amazing. But since we just hit this next gamma exposure level, we almost hit this one perfectly too. And I haven't changed any of these levels, guys. So you can go back and look in the last video. You can see exactly what my chart looks like. You can see the levels that I talked about. So I have changed nothing about this. So today we did hit this level. So we're coming back down in this ghost zone, which by the way, we did fill this ghost zone perfectly, which is awesome. So we're right in the middle of a ghost zone again to the downside. If 380 doesn't hold tomorrow, I feel like we'll go back down to 377. So 380 is that big level. We're at 381.40 after hours. So, it says 381.60 here, but on this other chart it says 381.40. Anyways, that is besides the point. So if we do not hold this 380 level, which was it was crucial support and resistance, price action support and resistance. It's not a gamma exposure level per se, I think. Maybe it is now. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So it is a gamma exposure level. So if we do not hold this 380 level right here, then we can go back down and fill this next go zone to 377, or which is 370 now. But I'll be looking at 377 first, since it was that a first gamma exposure level. But since these update every day, it says that 370 would be the next level to the downside, and that would be crazy. It could happen with all these earnings, all the volatility that's happening. So just be careful of that, guys. Watch market net flow. It definitely tells you what the market's going to do. It's pretty dang accurate. Yesterday was kind of choppy, but also you got to pair it with convergence here. It shows the strength. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to end the video there. Keep it pretty short and simple. So 380 is that big level. If it does not hold, we'll pretty much go down, retest 377 and then 370 if that's what it wants to do within the next week. We'll have to see. Watch tech earnings, guys. It's very, very important. As you can see what happened, we were extremely bullish the entire day. We even got a green DEX bar. And even with these earning reports and all this data that we have, it can still be kind of shaky with the data, especially with those big reports coming out. So watch those reports, see what's going on with these big companies, because I mean, just between Google and Microsoft, that's pretty much like 20. I think it's like 20% of the entire market. I think it's just under that. It's like 17. But don't quote me on that. I would look that up. I think it's about 17%. So it's a very big deal what those companies report. So pay attention to those. And no matter what the data says, it can definitely reverse the other way. Just like it says right here, green DEX and flow is extremely bullish. But those swing trades, I doubt that they'll come out profitable. I doubt that we'll open green tomorrow. Anyways, guys, if you guys have questions, please let me know. I hope this video gets out and you guys watch it. It's early enough. I hope you guys have an awesome Tuesday. Be careful out there. See you tomorrow.